Hello folks, in front of us is the mighty South Platte River. These waters are sourced from the Rocky Mountains, the very peaks of them. And throughout the miles and miles they go down the creeks, they form into this river, which will eventually lead us to a confluence in Nebraska. That's where you get the actual Platte River, the confluence of the North and South Platte. And then this river will become one with the Missouri River. Tributary, tributary, tributary. All these tributaries going down into the greater Mississippi River, flowing into the Gulf of Mexico. But right here, where we are today, this river, the South Platte, provides an excellent water source for the huge metropolitan area that is the Denver metro area. Along the confluence of this Cherry Creek, which is also of importance to the Denver area, and that aforementioned South Platte River, you can find Confluence Park. It's a great place where you're going to see so many people on their bikes, on scooters. It's a place for people to congregate. Maybe some people are bathing in the river, just having a good time. But it's sort of the spirit of Denver, capital city of the Centennial State, Colorado, and the most populous city of Colorado. It is an environment, it's an atmosphere that really epitomizes what this West region is all about. Independence, free-spiritedness, just having a good time. With a population today of 730,000 people and a metro area population of just under 3 million, a population that large obviously has been a hub for a long period of time, as we'll come to understand. It was a hub then, it was a hub today, but that only means it's a huge place with lots of things to do. So let's not waste any time. Let's start understanding, discovering, learning about the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. We have reached Union Station. This is an iconic landmark of Denver. You see, Denver was founded all because of certain industries that fostered trade and transportation throughout the country. If it wasn't for these rail stations, Denver would be nothing like it is today. You know, I guess it's kind of fitting that for a city as large as Denver, they would have such a large rail station, because it played such an importance to their economy and their livelihoods, the people of Denver. Now you can see even today, Union Station's pretty busy. Not only is it a place just for people to eat and congregate, I saw a few bars there, a few markets, but the transportation still is in effect. There's limo, valet services, and there's an Amtrak station here. So, in a way, Union Station still preserves the transportation importance and significance that was very prominent in the yesteryear. Throughout the 1800s, the Americans went about their manifest destiny, encroaching upon the western lands that the Native Americans had already been living for centuries. The Treaty of Fort Laramie, though, allowed the Arapaho and Cheyenne tribes to have their own autonomous land. But that was short-lived, as the discovery of gold here in Colorado really spawned a lot of mass migration westward towards these areas. This Pikes Peak Gold Rush, as it was called, ultimately resulted in Denver City being founded in the late 1850s in what was then the western portion of Kansas Territory. This little frontier outpost, originally known as Denver City, serviced the hordes of miners that came westward. You know, not just for tools and supplies, but also things to do like gambling and saloons. And then the dawn of the railroads changed everything. It was a burgeoning, blooming town, but then it gained notoriety throughout the whole nation when the railroads came into this place. So Union Station right here was a major stop along the Denver Pacific Railroad, which was able to transport resources from here in the interior west all the way to different parts of the country, the west coast, the center of the country, even the east coast at some points. Now having become a major supply and transportation center in America, by the end of the 1800s, it was one of the largest cities west of the Mississippi River. Denver was already designated as the territorial capital, but a few years after statehood, Denver officially became the state capital of Colorado. Which reminds me, I think it's time for us to see the state capital once again. Oh, it wouldn't be Denver, Colorado without a medical marijuana shop. Now, it may be disappointing for you all that the 16th Street Mall is very under construction, but it's basically all you can find in a shopping mall, so it's not a big deal. But during times that this place is open, it's an easy way to walk from Union Station to the Capitol, maybe do some shopping along the way.
It's the antique shit.
This is real nice. There's lots of local shops, and it seems like every block there's some sort of street performance. It's an interesting atmosphere here in Denver. I didn't put it together, but I think this part of the 16th Street Mall is open. No construction, no nothing. It's just a nice open walkway. Now we're literally just a block away from the Capitol, but then you look to the side of us and there's something big and grand going on that I had no idea about. I have to inspect. I mean, I can't waste an opportunity like that. Looks like your usual end of summer festival here in Denver. We got the fair food, we got the storefronts, we got the little tents, we got a music venue going. It's a nice vibe here in Denver. All right, we finally made it to the Colorado State Capitol building. Looks like a normal Capitol building you'd see in any state. There's nothing that really stands out, but it sure is grand with a nice gold dome on top. Colorado really likes to display its flag, so you see two of them up there. As you walk up the stairs, you see the mighty, proud emblem of the state. Colorado was made a state in 1876. That's 100 years after the US got its independence. And for that, that's what explains away the nickname, the Centennial State. The state that was admitted to the Union a century after. Wait a minute, what's this? 1 mile above sea level. So that's why it's called the Mile High City. From this point, as the marker suggests, we are 5,280 feet above sea level. That's exactly 1 mile above sea level. Isn't that fascinating? Well, now you know, Denver, Colorado likes to have fun with its statistics. Those of you die-hard metric system fans who say, whoa, that's too complicated, 5280, what a weird number, just use the metric system. 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer, this is not your day to shine. We're in the US of A, and in the US of A, I guess we like to do things the old-fashioned American way. So yeah, mile-high city, 5,280 feet. If you're in America, we gotta get used to it. You know what I realized? Not only is it a Sunday today, but it's Labor Day weekend. There is 0.0000 chance that we are ever getting in this building today. What a shame. Maybe someday soon, maybe someday never. I don't know. For the Mile High Capitol building, my disappointment right now runs a mile deep. Oh well. On to the next thing. There is still plenty to see in Denver. You know, when I was younger, I used to collect a lot of coins, from pennies, dimes, nickels, quarters, even paper money, from in the US and around the world. So I loved collecting coins. As I looked on these coins, I would sometimes find a small little D on the front, on the face side of it. That D stands for Denver. And that's because US coins have long been made in Denver. Denver is home to the US Mint. This is where all the money is made. But maybe it was because of all the silver found in Colorado that the US government decided that Denver would be the home of their money-making operations. Once again, it would be real fun to go and maybe look at the things in the gift shop, or maybe take a private tour through the Mint. This would be one of the few places I'd be willing to go take a tour. And you all know how much I loathe going on these tours, but for something as unique as this, and important to the government and the country as a whole as this Mint, once again, it kind of sucks that we're here on Labor Day weekend when all these important places are closed. Now this is a bear. It happens to be blue. When I first saw it, I couldn't believe my eyes. When you visit, neither will you. Well, today we've had a great, eventful day in Denver, Colorado. I don't think we're done yet. There is one last place I'd like to visit. Just see, because I hear it's an amazing place with great views. So I want to check it out and maybe end the video there, if I can. Welcome to Red Rocks Park. You know, even in Denver, seems like we've been transported to the Southwest again. But I do want to clarify, this is outside of Denver, nearby in a town called Morrison. And although I don't think I'm going to be going to Morrison anytime soon, I felt it was okay to lump this in. This beautiful area with the red rocks that make you believe you're outside of Denver, outside of Colorado even, perhaps Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, states we've gone and seen these red rocks. And that's why Red Rocks Park is so fascinating to me, because in this metropolitan area, this huge area, there's still traces of nature all across this city and its surrounding regions. You're just a short drive away from beautiful countrysides, and oh, how beautiful that is. Not to mention that from Denver, it's a short drive to the Rocky Mountains, where you can embark on so many different trails and outdoor activities, even in the Denver city. There are plenty of green spaces and parks. It's a very green and eco-friendly city, I would say. Isn't it interesting how We're so used to all these parks and outdoor areas that going back to a big city. When was the last time we went to a big city? Was it Albuquerque? Probably. And that was a long time ago relative to where we are right now. With Denver, it's a city of two worlds, one in the past, one in the modern day. It has a background in Western heritage and lore, and then today it stands as one of America's most cosmopolitan cities. It's so cosmopolitan, it's so large now today that it comes with a lot of growing pains and challenges for the city and its surrounding area. It's the center of what's called the Front Range Corridor, a string of cities all across, going north to south, with this huge population. The infrastructure has some catching up to do, let's just say that. Traffic is horrible, and if there is a problem, traffic, it's even worse. Yesterday in Georgetown, I had to sit in an hour of traffic in the mountains. You'd think that would be an isolated place, but no, even out in the isolated regions of the Denver area, you're still going to deal with traffic, and there's a whole other assortment of problems. Prices for everything have skyrocketed, housing costs, any type of daily expenses. It's going to be very expensive, not very cheap around Denver. So if you do want to move to Denver, be warned, you're up for a real challenge. But the rapid urban growth of the Denver area and the Front Range Corridor as well, that could always be a good thing for Colorado, the West, and America as a whole. Denver is that place that you think of. It's the hub of the Wild West, per se. And I'm very, very glad we got to experience it all here today. It's been a long day, it's been a tiring day, I'm exhausted. That's just probably the altitude here in the mile-high city, but it was a fun time nevertheless. Well, I think this immaculate field of red rocks is gonna do us well to end off the video, to leave off our adventures temporarily until the next time I see you all. So, here admiring the red rocks right outside of Denver, the mile-high city and the capital of the Centennial state. More travels to come. I will see you at the next location.